And welcome into the JUCO Rush. I'm Mike Fraser, downtown Chicago. He's Robert Williamson in South Alabama. Robert, you dodged a storm. You're living right, kid.
Man, I dodged a storm. And by the way, you didn't mention that I'm in downtown Florida. You're downtown Chicago. I'm downtown Florida.
Hey, man, I like it, man. What else we like? Pepsi. Pepsi, a proud partner of the JUCO Rush. Pepsi and Allen Beverages. They understand and respect not only community college athletics, but the education all NJCAA colleges provide. Allen Beverages down in Gulfport, Mississippi. Refreshingly local since 1947. Boy, some big football games last week. I mean, I look at Cisco with a quality win over Kilgore. I look at Blinn in a shootout, coming from behind to beat Navarro. That was just in Texas, Robert.
Well, I mean, Texas, though, don't they do this year in, year out? I mean, they beat up on each other. You know, we're not halfway through the season, and everybody in Texas has got a loss.
Yeah, it is. And everybody knocks Texas, you know, when you talk to folks around the league, like, well, you know, maybe they're down this year. No, they just beat each other up. I mean, it's a pick'em game there every week. Hey, how about Dodge City? Speaking of conferences, how about Kansas's Ryan Lusby at Dodge City? Picks up another, you know, he beats Highland. Now he knocks off Iowa Central. Picks up a pair of big fourth downs. He's getting it done there, and he got that job really late in the spring. They're winning at Dodge City.
Well, and I was about to bring up what you just brought up. I mean, aren't they supposed to be down right now because the coach comes in late? I thought that was the formula for being down and out, but they're right into the thick of things.
Yeah, they sure are. Talk about massive wind, snow on the road at Butler. Boy, Donnie Smith, is that guy not a football player? Hooks up with his wide receiver, Adonis Tillman, with, 10, 20 seconds left in the game to win that one at Butler, 21-14. Gut check loss for Butler. Massive win because snow, the argument on them is they don't play enough tough teams. So when they face the tough teams, they have to beat them. Snow passed another test with a quality road win last week.
And Snow, of course, saying we don't play tough teams like Lackawanna, Butler, Iowa Western, Georgia Military. They got some tough ones on the schedule.
That they do. Let's look at the rankings. The latest NJCAA rankings have been released, and no surprise, Hutch stays at number one. Robert, my top 10 is pretty different this time, and I like Hutch on the one line, Iowa Western on the two line. I'm moving Mississippi Gulf Coast up to number 3, 5-0. That is a freight train, a locomotive. They are rolling down the tracks. Nobody is going to touch them until the conference playoffs. Glenn Davis at Colin might have something to say about that, but I still think Gulf Coast gets past Colin when they play. Then I've got Garden City. I'm high on Kiyoshi Harris. I'm high on that Garden City rushing attack. I'm putting them at 4-1 at number 4 in the country. Georgia Military at 5. Northwest 6. Snow 7. And my 8, 9, and 10 are Holmes, Highland, and Kilgore.
Man, I don't know if I can agree with all of that, Mike. I mean, I like the fact that you get 1, 2, and 3 as Hutch, Iowa Western, and Mississippi Gulf Coast. I can agree with that. I've got Snow at 4. I don't bump them to 7. And I don't want Garden City in front of Georgia Military College. Georgia Military's only loss of the year, Iowa Western, who was then number 1, lost in an OT, could have won, and if they'd gone for 1, maybe, and forced a second overtime. Garden City has lost to Navarro, did so by 14. Navarro's not even in the top 15. So I like part of what you got, kind of wondering if there might be a little something extra in that Pepsi you're sipping on there in Chicago.
Listen, I stand by my remarks. 11 through 15, Robert. I've got Jones at 11, Lackawanna 12, Cisco 13, Dodge City 14. I agree. And then I'm putting Blinn up in the 15th spot. Going to remove Butler. Blinn with just an incredible football victory in conference last week. And, they deserve to be the number 15 team in the country. Your thoughts?
I'm going to agree with you. I think Cisco should be in the top 15 because they knocked off Kilgore. I like Blinn in the top 15 as well, though they are not there in the national polls. They're there in our polls on virtue of that 2-1 start to the year.
Look, you mentioned Cisco. How about the Cisco kid, that quarterback, Landon Vessel? 20 of 35 for 321 yards, 4 touchdowns in that win over Kilgore. He is playing great football, and Cisco doing a great job with Charlie Rizzio winning there. Look at some of these first-year coaches. Ryan Lusby at Dodge City getting it done. Kiyoshi Harris back in the league. He's getting it done. Oliver Soku for Nimi, picking up a big quality football win here a couple of times. They're 2-2 on the year. So I like the changing of the guard. These programs lost some quality coaches, but guys have stepped right up in there and gotten it done. All right, let's go with our players of the week, Robert. I'm going to lead it off. What do you say? You all right with that? Are you okay with that? I don't think you're going to top. You're not going to be able to top my two guys. I mean, these are two these guys just incredible of the work they did. Let's start with Rylan Wooten of getting the job done. I mean, did he not make it happen or what? Threw for 426 yards, 29 to 43 passing, 3 touchdowns in the win over Navarro. Rylan Wooten, what an effort, what a stud, as he's one of my players of the week. I'm staying in the same game. I'm going to Mason Shorb at Navarro. There's no way I'm leaving a guy who threw for over 400 yards off the board. His numbers are strong. 21 of 32, 3 touchdowns. They lose it by 1. Man, 406 yards. Mason Shorb and Rylan Wooten, you guys, here's to you. Here's the Pepsi player of the week for me right here, you two guys, and cheers to you. Heck of an effort.
Yeah, I mean, good, big, gaudy numbers.
Can't touch them.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, now, okay, I can't put gaudy numbers from Zach Wilkie at 213 yards passing or maybe a touchdown and no interceptions, but here's how I can match, and I think pass your guy, 23 of 24, 96% pass completion. That's an A when I was in school. It's an A for Zach Wilkie at Northwest Mississippi, and what a big performance. All right, what about this guy? Wayman Jordan, 9 carries, 175 yards. What is that per carry? It's about 20 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns, 18, 53, 25, 34-yard TDs. Wayman Jordan and Zach Wilkie, I'm saying tops Rylan Wooten, and Mason Shorb.
And look, a lot of running backs, 9 guys over 100 yards rushing. You talked about your guy for Colin, Trey Minor, 121 rushing yards. Just a bunch of guys. Keenan Franks for Pearl River, 3 straight 100 rushing yard games. Damarian Petit, 166 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. Navarro's Clay Thievnen had 123. Lackawanna Maurice Edwards had over 100 yards. And my guy, Garden City, more on him later in the show. DeJuan Lacey, 15 carries, 126 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Just a workhorse in that Garden City backfield. One running back we didn't mention, but we're going to talk about right now. That is for Mississippi Gulf Coast. Trey Hall, 171 yards rushing last week. He sat down with the JUCO Rush. Now joining us, Trey Hall, the nation's leading rusher in the NJCAA, running back for the Mississippi Gulf Coast Bulldogs, who continue to be one of the top-ranked teams in the nation. Trey, welcome to the JUCO Rush.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing out there?
Trey, you're about 185. Let's start there. How's the body holding up at the halfway point of the season?
My body holding up pretty good right now. Going on training room and take care of my body. I'm not a big guy, so I got to really focus on my body and stay in the training room as much as I can.
I got to ask him. I once heard Emmitt Smith say that the hardest pops he took in high school, he got all the time in college. The hardest pops that he got in college were the shots that he took all the time in the pros. I mean, do you find that to be a reality? And how big is the adjustment, or was the adjustment for you at the high school level, taking on these guys who are substantially larger than those you played at the prep school?
I mean, it was a big adjustment coming out of high school. Like, it was some good guys in high school, but it's a different level of football. So these guys are big out here, and it's a it's a college level, so it's about beating it. These guys got jobs on the field, and they coming out trying to kill you every time. But I adjust to it well.
You know, you have just, again, won another award where the conference is concerned, Player of the Week. I mean, does that stuff get old? Do you sometimes go, yeah, man, another trophy, another certificate, another award to place on a shelf? Or does each one bear a particular amount of significance to you?
Now, I try to stay humble. I'm a humble guy, so I never try to get too high, never try to get too low. I try to stay in the middle and maintain and keep making plays. And if I got to keep making plays and them to keep noticing me, then I'm just keep doing it and stay humble.
Trey, your instincts. What's your best asset as a running back? Are you able just to see those holes and hit through them? Is it your speed? Is it your instinct? What is it?
I can say all you just named. I got good vision. I can hit the holes and I can see it open up before it even happened. It's just instinct I got is running back. I'm just made to play running back.
What led you to Gulf Coast? Why Mississippi Gulf Coast?
It's a good coaching staff I got. They treated me as well. They treated me and had a good relationship with me. And I felt like it was the best play for me, the best opportunity to come in and be the guy and come in and play some good football.
You know, you look at what you did last year. You had nearly 900 yards rushing. You also are the leading rusher right now. You're going up against Demarion Petit in your conference up there at Northwest. Just overall, you've seen some play in the North. You guys played at East Mississippi. You played Jones at the South Division. Which conference do you see? Which division is tougher in the conference, do you think, at this stage?
I gotta say our division right now because we're in the tough division as well, and I feel like all these teams can play. So I can't put it past no team out here. I feel like every team out here can play.
When are you going to decide where you're going to continue your collegiate career playing football?
I ain't really been focused on that right now, but out of the season, I'm gonna let before December, I have my mind made up and where I'm going.
And the last question for you, Trey, as we talk with Trey Hall, he leads the NJCAA in rushing right now, plays for Mississippi Gulf Coast. That offensive line has been stout over the years. Your O-line this year, I know they've been beneficial to you. Who are some of those guys that open up those gaps for you? I
mean, I got to get credit to the whole O-line. They all work together. Like, if one mess up, they all mess up. But I got to get credit to everybody. The whole line, all guys are them. Without them, it's no me. So I just give all the credit to them. And I tell them every day, man, I'm thankful for y'all. I'm proud of y'all. I love y'all that y'all here for me.
Well, I'll tell you, Warren Central High School is proud of what you're doing down there in Perkinston. Thank you so much, Trey, jumping on the JUCO Rush. We look forward to watching you play throughout the year, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Yes, sir. Nice meeting y'all.
And that is Trey Hall, running back for Mississippi Gulf Coast. Trey, this Pepsi is for you. Thanks for jumping on the JUCO Rush. Pepsi, proud partners of the JUCO Rush. Allen Beverages in Gulfport, Mississippi. Man, they understand and respect not only community college athletics, but the education all NJCAA colleges provide. Allen Beverages down in Gulfport, Mississippi, refreshingly local since 1947. Another good kid, Robert. Trey, we had Daniel on last week, Bobo McKinnon from Garden City. These guys are good guys.
Yeah, I mean, great running backs and just good guys, like you mentioned. I mean, they great personalities, humble. I like seeing that.
All right, let's take a look at some of the players around the country, some of the top conferences around the country. All right, this is the JUCO Rush.
Want your team or business to truly stand out? Look no further than Sport FX Designs. They specialize in high-impact sports graphics that demand attention, whether it's custom animated logos, sleek animations, or fully branding your solutions. Sport FX Designs delivers professional, eye-catching visuals that elevate your brand. Head over to www.sportfxdesigns.com and see how they can bring your visions to life. And by the way, a big thank you to Blake. What a great job he does for us.
All right, terrific young man. Great to have him on board on the JUCO Rush, as he is really a talented young man. All right, let's take a look at some other conferences, some of the top players around the NJCAA. This is the JUCO Rush. I'm Mike Fraser. He's Robert Williamson as we talk NJCAA football. And, you bounce around and you look at, boy, from the rankings to the players, quarterbacks, running backs. I mean, everything's starting to shape up. One thing really starting to come into focus now, Robert, is the JUCO Weekly Trophy. Will be presented December 17th down in Texas. We are ecstatic to have partnered with the NJCAA on this prestigious award. I mean, this is just really a good award to recognize just the great players that play this game of football at the NJCAA level. So while we have a committee that votes on it, I do not vote on the trophy, nor do I have any influence, but I do have opinions. And at this point of the campaign, I want to give a couple of those opinions who I think the top 5 guys in the country are right now for the JUCO Weekly Trophy. You ready for it,
do
Robert?
not have opinions. Are you serious?
Would you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Go ahead, take it.
All right. Obviously, Hunter Deckers, a quarterback at Iowa Western. That would be one guy for certain that's on the list. I really like Tavion Atkinson, the defensive end at Trinity Valley, leads the country with 8 sacks. Trey Hall, who we just had on the program a few moments ago, leads the nation in rushing for Mississippi Gulf Coast. He'd be one guy on that list. I like Demarion Petit at Northwest. How ruthless is the running back position? Petit rushes for 166, but loses 5 yards in the totals because Trey Hall rushes for 171 last week. And then I like just a host of guys that continue to get the job done. So those are some of my guys right now on the defensive side and the offensive side of the football.
I'm agreeing with you on Deckers, Jordan, and Hall, man. I mean, they're dynamite runners. Deckers, 2 interceptions on the season. One of those came in the first game of the year. So obviously he has not thrown a lot of picks over the course of the last 5 games for Iowa Western. I want to add a couple of guys, though, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Sure, go for it. I like to know what you're thinking here.
Darion Bryant, receiver at Highland. How about 552 receiving yards, 110 per game, 22 per catch, 4 touchdown receptions. I also like Dondreas Giles, the DB at Holmes. A big part of the reason that Holmes is unbeaten. 37 tackles. Yeah, maybe that doesn't stand out in your mind, but how about this? 4 picks and 3 of the 4 for touchdowns. I like to add them, if you don't mind, for consideration.
And my 5th guy, he was your player of the week this week, Wayman Jordan Jr., 143 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, 3rd nationally in rushing yards. So he's another one that's up there. I like the Augustus, Jamarian, and Javen out there at Highland, 6 sacks apiece. Jem Davis, the wide receiver for Trinity Valley, is another guy that's playing well. I'll tell you one, an outlier. I'll give you one. Sincer Bowers, the all-purpose man for Iowa Central, rushing the football, kickoff returns, punt returns. That is a guy that is very valuable to Iowa Central. And that is a guy that is also in the hunt, I think, for getting an invite to the JUCO Wheatley Trophy.
Okay, to be fair and balanced, if you're going to have an outlier, a dark horse, if you will, I've got to have one.
Okay, who do you got?
Keenan Phillips, 11 touchdowns.
Love him.
One has been via the air. One has been on the ground via a kickoff return. 11 have been rushing touchdowns, 106 all-purpose yards. Hasn't lost the football once on a fumble. This guy is a steady contributor to the success of Georgia Military.
No doubt about it, man. And not only that, he shares the load. So he's not the feature guy back there every week. So yeah, no doubt about it. Maurice Edwards is another guy for Lackawanna, another running back who is a guy that's in the hunt as well and grinding it out for the Falcons up there. All right, Robert, stock rising. You ready for stock rising?
I am.
Let's take a look. This is a segment we really enjoy. These are guys that are flying under the radar, but not anymore. Not on the JUCO rush. My guys right now, I am just really, really impressed with this guy. DeJuan Lacey for Garden City. 3 straight games with 100-plus yards. He is the anchor back there, and he's methodically moving up the chart on the rushing totals. He's getting it done for Garden City and for Kiyoshi Harris. And then my other guy, Jamarian Corbin. Great numbers. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, look at what he's done. I mean, when you look at Jawarren Corbin, the numbers he's put up, tied for first in the NJCAA with 9 tackles for loss. Last week, 11 tackles, 3 TFLs, and a pick against Dodge City. Against Iowa Western, had an interception, 11 tackles, 4 TFLs. Against Hutch, he had a sack and a few TFLs. Each week, this guy's been climbing the ladder. Man, those are 2 of my guys right there. You give me DeJuan Lacey and Jawarren Corbin. Those are 2 stock rising. These are guys you want to watch.
My 2 guys, I've already talked about them, and I know Hunter Deckers maybe doesn't fit that mold of exactly what you were looking at for a stock rising guy, a freshman, but this guy is really the epitome of stock rising. He is in the NJCAA for the purpose to rise his stock to get the attention of the CFL and the NFL. He's got my attention. 1,500 yards passing, 13 TDs, 2 interceptions, and also talked about Keenan Phillips just a few moments ago. I mean, this is a Mr. Do-It-All for Georgia Military College. Yeah, I guess if you're looking at feature backs, Traquan Jones is the guy for the Bulldogs, but Keenan Phillips, how can you deny a guy that has 11 touchdowns, which leads the NJCAA? So there you have it, Phillips and Deckers on my end.
Oh, those are 2 solid guys, two solid guys. And again, I mean, this is a list we like because there's just so many talented players out there. And these lists, stock rising, are guys that fly under the radar, but not on the JUCO rush. All right, let's dive into our key games of the week. Robert, start it off. Who do you have?
Snow and Iowa Western, man, won a big ball game. It is 3-2 battling. I'm going to go with Iowa Western. I'm not going to go against Scott Strohmeyer and Iowa Western again until they force my hand. And this is a game, though, that Snow needs to prove that they are worthy of a 3 ranking. We'll see what happens. Dodge City and Hutch. I know Hutch, did that Toto song, 99, ooh, beat Ellsworth by 99-0 last week. But I'm thinking Dodge City has got what it takes.
Stunning. You're not going there, are you?
Blue Dragons.
Are you taking Dodge City to beat Hutchinson?
I am.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I don't have that kind of courage. My 2 games are like Iowa Western beating Snow. 4 of the last 5 years, these have been 1-possession games. Folks, this will be another 1-possession game. This is one of the top 5 games in the country. Iowa Western will edge out Snow. And then Nimi against Tyler, battle in Texas. I'm going with Nimi. Just a hunch. I just like what they've been doing lately. So give me New Mexico Military. And we'd like to thank Pepsi, our proud partners of the JUCO Rush, Allen Beverages in Gulfport, Mississippi. They understand and respect not only community college athletics, but the education all NJCAA colleges provide. Allen Beverages down in Gulfport, Mississippi, a Pepsi bottler, refreshingly local since 1947. Here's to Allen Beverages. Here's to Pepsi for being a part of the JUCO rush. Robert, we'll talk to you next week. Be a lot more to go after.
See you then.
I still can't believe you're taking Dodge.
And you didn't get to hear who I wanted in the Tyler Nimming game. I'm going with Tyler.
You're taking Tyler. Okay. All right. So long, everybody.